There's something you should know about author Cormac McCarthy.
Go watch that video. It's such an inspirational video, especially for any creators out there. Did you know that Cormac McCarthy wrote for almost 3 decades before his work got widely discovered? Everything sold like a couple of thousand copies, which isn't bad, but now he's known as America's greatest living writer, and nobody knew about it for the longest time. So, that could be you! Luckily, this camera is also pointing at me. It could be me! And I want to highlight my books today. The first book I wrote is this great queer graphic novel about the history of medical cannabis and all the heroes of California. It's great. I still love reading it. And it's based on Angels in America, which I think is one of the best plays of all time. And especially because Angels in America is based on Moby Dick, or at least Kushner said that's his favorite book. And all of my books are based on Moby Dick. I have 135 chapters in this endocannabinoid graphic novel series that I'm working on. This is my big science one. It's called The Crown, and it is explaining about how we figured out the chemical nature of CBN, the first cannabinoid we ever really worked out the chemistry of. And these are both free on my website. I also wrote the first chapter just in that pause in between my kids getting born. And I think that's a really good start. And I'm trying to find time to get these republished up on Amazon and then get started on the next 6 chapters that I have all laid out and written. I just need to do the graphics for them. And after that, for the next, how many would it be? 125 plus chapters, I have them all laid out. Everything's ready to go. I just need the space to do it. And it might take me the rest of my life, but that's the plan. So I want to highlight my work today, and you should know, whatever your work is, the coolest part is you'll never get to see all the ripples in the pond that you create. It's one of the best parts of life. Your treasures will be stored up in heaven, as the good book says. So keep making your art. For every positive feedback that you hear from somebody that bothered to reach out and say something, there's at least a dozen or 20 or 30 people who thought the exact same thing. They just didn't bother to write you. So know your work is getting seen, and you'll never know the good that it does in the world. If you feel like you were put here to create something, then the spirits of the universe are working through you for you to do your work. So go forth and do it, and someday you may be discovered in that kind of way. But in any case, your work will make a difference.